Hello everyone, my name is Beth and this is my FlossTube channel, Busy Bee Stitches. And this is an episode of my Stash Dive series. If you are new to this series, please go to my channel. There's a playlist that you can find. And please watch the introduction to this channel, or to this series, because that'll answer a bunch of questions that you have. It'll give you some context for what I'm doing here. And then you can watch the rest of the videos in whatever order you'd like. So this Stash Dive video is going to go through my Valentine's Day patterns, my love themed patterns, and I've also added in some like friend love patterns because I think friend love is just important as romantic love. And I also like Valentine's Day really isn't my thing. I mean, it's nice or whatever, but I don't really do anything for Valentine's Day usually. So I don't have like a lot of patterns in this category. So I added in some other sort of friendship patterns to round it out. So the first thing that I have to show you, and a reminder, in these videos I'm going through in order of like size category, and I go through my size categories in more detail in that intro video, but we'll start with my mini patterns in this category, which go up to 50 stitches square. So the first thing I have to show you in this category comes out of this book. This is called A Rainbow of Stitches, and it has both embroidery, as you can see here, and cross stitch. I bought this book. This was probably the first ever cross stitch thing that I bought. I just saw it at Michael's, and it has like instructions in the front of how to stitch, so that's like how I learned to stitch. And then it also has like borders and alphabets and motifs and all sorts of things. So I used what's in this book to create the pattern for the first ever thing that I made. And then I just, fell down the cross stitch rabbit hole and couldn't get out. But this book has come in handy a few times. It has just a really wide range of motifs. And not everything in here is something I would stitch. And a lot of the times the things in here are, they become relevant if I need something in particular. But there are a few things in here that I just think are cute that I've taken a picture of and added it into my stash so that I remember they're in here. And I'll probably turn these into ornaments or cards or just little small pillows, something like that. So there isn't a great picture of this pattern finished, but it's this little pillow right here. It's like a heart with scissors, or with thread, needles and thread around it, and they've turned it into a pincushion. I'm gonna hold the pattern far back because otherwise you can't really see what it looks like. So it's this right here with needle and thread sort of around the heart. And then there's also this really cute pair of scissors with the heart tag that I think is really cute. But this gives you an idea of the layout of the book, where there's a cross stitch and there's also like embroidery that you could copy. So this is a neat book. I like this. The next thing I have to show you in my mini category is this super adorable chart. This came from the World of Cross Stitching April 2021 issue. This is by Doreen Jones and it's called Bestie, which I just think is the funniest and cutest. And my besties also really love tea, as do I, so I will definitely be stitching this for them at some point. Next up, this pattern is kind of 2-in-1, but since I'm doing the mini category first, I'll show it here. This is Shakespeare's Valentine by Parkhopper Bart, and I just think this is really just interesting. I've never seen a pattern like this. I just think Parkhopper Bart does stuff that nobody else is doing, which I really love. So, and of course I love the Shakespeare quote. And this is like, for me, like I don't have a lot of things that are like hearts and lovey-dovey, but for me this is like just the right level of cute. So the small one in the hoop is a mini size, and the one in the frame is a small size. I think I probably like the one in the frame better, but I could make an argument for either one. I probably wouldn't stitch both though. Next we have another Doreen Jones. This one was a freebie off of her Facebook group, I believe. This is called Light Up My Life. And this isn't like explicitly Valentine's Day, but I think it's cute. I think it's a cute thing to stitch to tell someone that you care about them. And for some reason, this pattern feels a lot bigger than it is to me. It's only 39 by 55. So it's really not that big and would probably go by super fast. Next, I have one of my favorites and the last in the mini category. This is Fully Armed Battalion by Wee Little Stitches, and this just cracks me up so much. I could probably finish stitching this in like an hour or two, but I have lots of people that I would stitch this for. So yeah, I love this pattern and I can't wait to stitch it. I also think the crocheted hoop cover is really cute, and I have a couple of friends who crochet. I might have to convince them to make me one of these because I've never seen anything like it. I think it's super cute. All right, so that was it for the mini category. Now I'm gonna pull up my small category. So this is patterns that are 51 to, or maybe 50, I forget, I don't know, whatever. 50 stitches square up to 100. So I actually have the physical pattern for this one that I can show you. This is You Are Loved by My Big Toe Designs. And I bought this pattern because somebody that I love very much was having a really hard time. And I was thinking I would stitch this for her, but I ended up stitching her something else instead that was a little bit smaller and more manageable for me at the time. But I still love this and would very much love to stitch this for her or for somebody else. Next we have For Good by Smart Assy Stitches. And this is a quote from Wicked, which is a fantastic musical in my opinion. And this is very much reminds me of one of my very best friends and like this particular quote. And so I bought this with her in mind. I haven't stitched it for her yet, obviously, because it's still in my stash. But my plan is to stitch it for her and also maybe for me so that we can each have one, because I think it's really cute and seeing it in my house would just remind me of her all the time. So okay, next, I have one that it has a French title that I don't know how to pronounce, so I'll put the name of it on the screen. This was a freebie by Marisa. I'll also put the designer's name on the screen because I have no idea if I'm saying that right. But I believe I got this from their website. Next we have an Emblem of Love by Modern Folk Embroidery. And I just really like this one. It's very simple. I like, you know, the monochrome. I like how fast that will go. And I just think it's super cute. I might even just stitch this for myself. I don't know if I would stitch this as a gift, but I like it. Next we have You Are So Loved by Snowflower Diaries. I believe this was a freebie off of their website, and I think they have two versions of it. I think they have a French version and an English version. I think I like the English version better, but the French version is also really cute. Next, we have another freebie. This is from Hello from Liz Matthews. And I believe this came in her email newsletter. I think it was exclusive to her email newsletter. And again, this is like not exclusively a pattern about love, but this is just something I would love to stitch for somebody who I care about, who I'm missing, and send it to them to let them know that I'm thinking about them. And along those same lines, we have Sewn in Friendship by Heartstring Samplery. This pattern came as a set, as a pair, and I only have this one because when I bought this, I really didn't have any stitchy friends, and so I thought it was cute and I really liked it, and so if I was gonna stitch it, I was gonna just get the one that I liked the best, and the person that I stitched it for would never know that it was part of a set. But now that I have some stitchy friends, maybe I would try to stitch this as an exchange, because that might be really fun. All right, that was it for small patterns. Moving on to my medium size category, which goes from 100 up to 150 stitches square. This is probably my favorite one out of this group. It comes in this book, Cross Stitch for the Soul by Emma Congdon, who is also Stitchrovia. And I have the physical version of this book, and then her other book, the one with all of the like earth themed, nature themed patterns. I have that one on Kindle. I have to say I think I prefer the Kindle format, but it is nice to just have this book. Like, it's a beautiful book and it sits on my shelf, and that's kind of nice too. So the pattern I wanted to show you is this one. These patterns don't have names, but I've called it Good Companion. And I love this so much. It was probably the reason I bought the book. And I am considering stitching this and putting my wedding date on it. I haven't decided yet, but I have a feeling that's what I'm going to end up doing. All right, next we have another friendship one. We have Really Friends by Heartstring Samplery. And this came in the Black Needle Society Lost in Austin book box. And the quote on it says, "There is nothing I would not do for those who are really my friends." And that's it for the medium size. I feel like I had to have missed one. There's no way this is larger than a medium. Hold please. I missed a couple of smalls. Okay, I'm gonna backtrack and fill in those couple. I don't know if this just, I don't know, the site just loaded weird for me or something. So I have two other smalls I need to show you. First we have by Doreen Jones. I don't know, I must just really love Doreen Jones's like cutesy style. I'm not like super into cutesy for a lot of my stitching, but some of these just really speak to me. So this is Wedding Sampler by Doreen Jones, and it is in the Just Cross Stitch June 2019 issue. And this actually, I don't know if you can tell from the picture, but it's got quite a few specialty stitches like all along the border. I believe they're called road stitches. I'm not sure. And I think there are some other specialty stitches, like that heart at the top in the middle is a specialty stitch. So I think that's really visually interesting, and I also am very much drawn to this like natural fabric white stitches look. And so I would love to stitch this for friends of mine who are getting married. I mean, it's like It's only 95 by 95 stitches, but I feel like those birds are really dense. So I don't know if I really will have enough time to stitch this before their wedding. We'll see. I'm gonna cross my fingers and try on that one. All right, and finally in the small category, this one that I missed, this is called Hugs and Kisses by Primrose Cottage, right? Yes. That's what it looks like. And I got this pattern in my StitchCon Smalls Exchange last year. The person who stitched the small for me, which is right over there on my closet, they also threw this pattern in for me, which is super cute. And I really appreciate having an actual like Valentine's Day themed pattern in my stash, because I really just don't have a lot of those, and sometimes mood strikes me, right? If someone's doing a sal and I want to pull it out, and I really appreciate having something small and quick that I could pull out and do. And I think that's really, really cute. Okay. Now we're done with small. I think I did all my medium also. Yep. All right, now we're moving on to my larger patterns. Okay, the first large pattern I have to show you is Favorite Hello by Needle Bling Designs. And the quote on it says, "I want to be your favorite hello and your hardest goodbye. First you see in the morning and the last you see at night." And I really love the quote on this. I got this when I was trying to decide what I wanted to stitch for the wedding of a friend of mine, and I picked something else that I'm currently working on. And so this one is now in my stash. But the more I look at it, the more I'm unsure that I would ever stitch this. I'm not like super into the really block simple letters on this. And the like separated heart, I don't know how I feel about that. I just don't know if I will ever get to this, but I'm not gonna like, I don't know. I'll hold on to it for a while until I'm like sure that I'm not gonna get to it, because it might strike my fancy eventually. I don't know why I can't talk today. On the completely opposite side of the spectrum, see, I really can't talk today. I don't know what's going on. On the completely opposite side of the spectrum, a pattern that I'm extremely excited about stitching is Stars Bright by Lindy Stitches. And this, I mean, obviously I can stitch this on whatever color fabric I want, but this bright blue fabric really speaks to me with all of the bright colors in the granny squares along the edges. And the quote on this says, "We would be together and have our books, and at night be warm in our bed together with the window open and the stars bright." So this is another option of something I could stitch and put my wedding date on. There isn't like a great spot to put it. Like I could put the date like down here in the corner somewhere, sort of hidden. But I love this quote so much, and I think it really speaks to my relationship also, and I really, really like it. This is a big boy though. This is 181 by 161, and those birds are really dense, and the granny squares, they're not full coverage, but they're also, you know, got quite a bit of stitching in them. So this is not like just hurry up and stitch this pattern at all. Okay, now moving on to my huge size category. This, oh, I don't have anything in my huge category. Okay. But I do have two things in my BAP size category. So my BAP size category is 300, yep, like 300 plus stitches. So no, 250 plus. Yes, my BAP size category is 250 stitches and more. So the first one I have in my BAP category is one that I've had in my stash for quite a while, and I just absolutely love the quote on it. This is called The Heart of a Friend by Moira Blackburn. And there's no absolute way you will be able to read that. So the quote says, "I shot an arrow into the air, it fell to earth. I knew not where, for so swiftly it flew, the sight could not follow in its flight. I breathed a song into the air, it fell to earth, I knew not where, for who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of a song? Long, long afterward, in an oak, I found the arrow, still unbroke, and the song from beginning to end I found again in the heart of a friend." And this is from a Longfellow poem called The Arrow and the Song. And I just think it's beautiful. And really, I bought this because of the quote, but I think the stitching is also very beautiful. It's just so big, and the stitching is like not my regular style, and so I think that has made me hesitant to start it, but also just the quality of this picture is not very good, and sometimes that makes it hard for me to get excited about something. And the quality of the chart is really not great. Let me see if I can just show you a little piece of it. I don't know if you can tell how fuzzy that is. This is very clearly a photocopied thing. I bought this from 123 Stitch, so like it's legit. It's just clearly been photocopied, and it's really hard to read, like really hard to read. So there's also that to deal with. This must be like an older pattern that that's how they were distributed. I don't know, looking for a date on it. I don't see one. But this is 305 by 247. So this is a really big pattern, and to like have to limp through a chart that is not fun to read for a chart that is that big, like that just sounds really painful. And there are two symbols that are like similar enough that actually like three symbols that are similar enough that like even like when the photocopy is bad, like it's really hard to tell the difference between them. So I don't know. If you guys have any advice for me on this problem, please let me know. Also, if you know anyone who has stitched this who has a better picture of it than what is on the chart, please also let me know, because if I can get hyped about stitching this, then I would really love that. And finally, the last thing that I have to show you here, this is a very small item for something in the BAP category. This is a waffle lot by Hands On Design. I got this in the Valentine's Day Black Needle Society box last year, and it says, "Love you, a waffle lot." This is a like square pillow that it's like a 3D pillow, so it has sides also. So it's like a front, a back, and then this side strip. And because of that, this is actually ends up being a BAP. So it's 65 by 65 times 2. And then it's the strip that goes around is 12 by 260. So that does end up being a BAP size. However, you can see on this back panel, there's a lot that's left unstitched. There's a lot of those like empty squares. So there isn't like that much stitching on the other sides and like on on these sides. It's a little hard to tell, but the stitching is kind of sparse. So even though this is a BAP, I'm not gonna let that scare me. I'm not gonna let that make me feel like, you know, I shouldn't start it because it's so massive. So yeah, I think this is really cute. And again, like, even though I'm not super into like the pink and red Valentine's Day type of stuff, I really like this concept, and I've seen a lot of people stitching this recently because they've got it out for Valentine's Day, and it's really making me want to stitch it. I love in particular the color of this strip that says waffle. It really stands out to me, and I just really like it. The thing that I don't think I'm gonna like so much is that there's a lot of like a few stitches of this color and then one stitch of another color and then jump over here and do that same thing and then do that again a million times. I had to do that kind of stitching on Pride and Prejudice on the border, and it really made me insane. This though seems like it's just a smaller amount. So this would be nice to do like while I'm on video chat or something, hanging out and being distracted by the kind of annoying onesie twosie stitches. So yeah, that's all I got to show you today. Thanks for hanging out with me. This was super fun. Thanks for putting up with whatever mouth gymnastics I've been struggling with today. And let's see, what is the next stash dive video gonna be? So my next category looks like I have my Harry Potter patterns, and I also have my Wizard of Oz patterns. I'm gonna do those, both of those categories in one video. So that's what I'm going to come to you next with. So look forward to that, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.